I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. First item on the agenda is to approve our agenda. Move. Motion by Feldheim, second by Gage. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. This time we'll open the meeting up for any public comment. Is there anyone that would like to address the commission this morning on any issue that isn't on the agenda? In person, online, on the phone? Seeing none, we will move on. First reading of ordinance 260, a rezone.
Ordinance 260, an ordinance amending Title IV, second revision, Brown County ordinances amended to rezone certain described properties, filed by John and Lindsay Peterson, going from Ag Preservation District to Lakefront Residential District.
All right, this is first reading. Is there anyone here to speak to ordinance 260? Not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Move.
A motion by Gage, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next up, Rachel Kipley, Fairgrounds Parks Manager.
Morning.
Good morning, Rachel. How you doing?
Good. Got a whole slew of stuff here, so.
All right.
You want to start rental rates? I
Sure.
assume that was just about the Jersey barriers, Dwayne, is that what we're talking?
The list of the 24 rental rates was in the packet, and I didn't see the Jersey rental rate in the packet.
Oh, okay. I was of the impression it was a discussion on the new item that wanted to be added to the rental rates. I guess I did not review the full, but I didn't have
And we
any-
have until January 1st to do that, so.
Yeah, I had
we
no
can-
recommendations for increases. We increased them a year ago as far as the, facilities that you can rent out there, so I think this is gonna be good, but I'll take a second look. But I would recommend, if you see fit, adding those cement barriers to it so that if you wanted to rent those out to a party, you could. There was somebody in the community that was interested in that, so completely up to you. I know they're, they're so heavy that you don't wanna go very far and you don't wanna move them a lot, but if there's a situation that the county can get a little money for those and have them not moved a lot, then it might be worth it, so.
Party reached out to me asking how many we had. They had a need for quite a pretty good number of them, and I said, I don't know if we have any established rate for renting them, because I was not aware that we'd ever done it before. So I got over to Rachel. She said we have approximately 37 of them, and that will suit this person's needs. So I asked Rachel to put together a rental rate so that we have something to give to him. So if we approve that rental rate, either Rachel or I will get hold of that person, and they'll pay for the hauling, the placing, and the returning, depending on how long they need them, which could be up to 6 months, so.
And that doesn't interfere with what we would need them for.
As long as they have them by summer.
Okay.
And when they're rented, when he signs the contract, I told him that they would need to be back prior to potentially the race season, but for sure by the fair. And he was okay with that, so.
Okay. And we have just thrown out like $25 a barrier a week, or maybe give them a bulk discount if they're taking a bunch, and we're not going to transport those. That would have to be up to the party and it would be the same kind of, personal liability insurance if there's any damage to them.
So if everybody's okay with it, I entertain a motion to approve the rental rates.
Move. Second.
Motion by Weiss, second by Denner. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. That was just those barriers. That wasn't your other list.
Correct.
We'll approve that later, right?
Okay, that sounds great. As far as contract goes, there's one in front of you, that'd be we've done the antique tractor pull for a number of years. We have in the past done some other entertainment at the grandstand the Sunday of the fair. We still will have the antique tractor pull if they would like to. We'll just move it to the west, off of the old horse track, kind of to the west of the grandstand. What the board would like to do this year is try something different. This is the Paul Bunyan Lumberjack Show, and $12,000 to contract with them. So it'll be a 60-minute show, and the board's pretty excited to offer some additional family entertainment the week of the fair, and hopefully get a few more people out there on Sunday, which has kind of gotten a little bit slower. So.
I like what was decided or talked about at the fair board about free for the kids and adults pay, because that is going to be a family event, and I can see some families with, kids coming to that and enjoying themselves hopefully, so.
So what they're talking about doing is, it's free if you have a 3 or 4 day package, and then it's $10 for adults, free for kids.
Well, it's a good idea. I would entertain a motion to approve that contract.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Weiss, second by Dennert. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Second one, I didn't know if you needed to, have this before you for an official vote or not, since it would be under 25,000. We put out quotes to about 10 local electrician services with the hours and what we would need done week of fair. We only got 2 back. We had one from, are those in the packet? Okay. So for Moose, we had $63 an hour for both journeyman and additional labor. And from Cramp, KEI, company name, we had $75.69 for non-journeyman. The board kind of looked through the proposals, and their recommendation was actually to go with Cramp this year, for various reasons. I don't know if you guys need that, or if the board, if you want to approve it, or if it's something the board does since it's under 25, or what thoughts are on that.
I think since it's under 25, we can just acknowledge what the fair board has done, I believe, since it falls under that threshold.
And there were 2 very strong bids, nothing to say, they just wanted to try a new company as far as working with somebody that had some familiarity with the fair, and that's nothing against the other company, but...
Okay. Well, at this point, we'll acknowledge the fact that the fair board decided on the Cramp bid.
Okay. And that's what I got.
And then discuss RFP for Expo Roof.
Yes. Okay, so what we're looking at doing is you guys had approved the between $250,000 and $300,000 to replace that Expo roof in 2024. We've been struggling just a little bit, working with HKG and a couple of the local vendors to figure out how to draft that. There's 2 options. You could demo it and then replace it, which would probably result in some of our events not happening, depending on the time frame. There's also a method where you could build right over the top of it. The question being that we are struggling with is, who is providing the engineer service to guarantee the weight limits on the structure? If you build right over the top, obviously that's going to be significant weight. So what we did, there's a few things I'm still waiting on. The actual sheet to advertise is ready to go, depending on time frame. Like when, if you approve today, what would that look like? Would we advertise one time here in November, and then could we do it by December the 12th?
Yes.
Okay, because that's what I would recommend. I think the earlier we get it out there, the better. These contractors are just getting busier and busier. And so I will do my best to get it not only in the hands of the 2 companies I know could do it here in Aberdeen, but reach out to anybody else that might have availability to do so. So what we did in the RFP, and like I said, I'm working with Dean Marski over at HKG, because I hate to admit it, but I'm not an expert at metal roofing. So I just want to make sure we get this right, and so this part is right. This will be good by the end of the day so that we can advertise the specs on it. But basically what we're doing is, can you give us 2 options? What would it be to demo and replace? What would it be to build right over the top with the seamless roof? Because no longer is it, and this is what's going to determine cost, people no longer, it seems, bolt the roof down because you're looking at the wind and then it's just going to get floppy. So what it does is it takes a clipping system underneath, and it's under, you put more insulation down and you leave the roof that's there, and then it more or less doubly protects it. So I think that's the way we want to go. I'm a little scared at the price tag because I've been told things are going up even more than when we first put this in the budget, but you don't know until you try. So I guess once we did it, we'll know.
Okay.
Rachel, does that include the transition between the 2 or no, or how is that?
Just the county stuff. So it'd be the addition and the expo building, both. So it's about 210 by 1. It would be 210 feet by 240 roughly, which should bring you right up to the 40, but not including it.
Then isn't it where the transition is that we've been having the problems?
See,
And just so they're aware of that when they do it, obviously,
Right.
to
And
make sure that they're aware.
And I don't know, in here it says, you know, that each person that bids it has to get a hold of us, come do a walkthrough and verify the size themselves.
Sure.
It doesn't give the specific size, so.
Okay?
It'd be possible to add that as a third.
well, that needs to be a component, because it's a structural component of both buildings,
Right.
where they meet together.
Throw that one as a bid on that, maybe.
I mean, you want the same contractors, and okay, bring it up to here, and then we'll have somebody else do the
Well, I
job.
mean, as far as, yeah, and then,
When they do the walkthrough, they just need to be aware that that's the problem area and needs to be looked at, addressed. So, any other questions, comments? Otherwise, we would, need a motion to approve the letting of the advertise for the RFP or the bid. Motion by Weiss,
second.
second by Gage. Any further discussion or questions?
The rest of the roof, is that all right, is it just the transition area between the two buildings?
Let's show the
The what?
The rest of the building is, or besides the transition
Oh,
area?
if you put a new roof on, it's gonna last another 40 years, I think, but it's not pretty. I mean, when you go inside, that's the one part that's bad about doing the build-over. It's because all the hockey pucks over there, there's holes all over in the insulation. You can just tell it, but it'll be solid. We won't be dripping on our vendors anymore.
Most of the water that comes down has been on the south side, is that correct?
Yeah, it's sporadic. There's a couple spots on the northeast corner.
Okay.
Steel Structures was in there and did about $1,200 of work last spring, and it helped a little bit, but didn't seal everything. And it also, you know, there's some spots where, like in the addition, the water's damaged and you have some hanging down. That's also included in the bid to at least, hey, get that up there and fix or replace what has to be done. And it's a big bugger, though.
Any other questions?
Yeah, true.
I appreciate you getting somebody involved to make sure that it's gonna be structurally sound. I think that's definitely something we want to have some assurance that we're in good shape on.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Anything else, Rachel?
Nope, that'll be it. I'm just gonna sit up here while Samantha talks.
Next, we have Samantha Olson, SDFU Education Specialist. Good morning. Samantha's gonna provide us an option for spending some money.
Thank you.
So while I pass these out, I'll kind of talk about myself a little bit. My name's Samantha Olson, born and raised just outside of Aberdeen. Grew up doing 4-H, FFA. I went on to study at FCSU. I studied agricultural education, and I graduated this last May. And I accepted a full-time position in January to be South Dakota Farmers Union Education Specialist. So what you have in front of you is an agricultural learning center. So this would be an opportunity to provide more entertainment and more learning on the fairgrounds for Brown County. So what essentially we would be doing is we hope to renovate the building that currently houses the chickens for the FFA, or 4-H, by that. So we would like to renovate that, put concrete in, and we would like to bring agricultural education to life. So by doing that, we would like to have a live sow birth, a live cow birth, chicks hatching, multiple educational interaction displays where people can learn about what we do in South Dakota and why we rely so heavily on the agricultural industry. So you can see just a little bit, but then you go into our business plan, or the business plan that I wrote up. So why is this so important to me? Especially with education, we kind of see schools are starting to get agricultural education back into their schools, but it's also a very expensive program to add to your community and to add to your school. So this would just be another opportunity for the individuals who don't have that opportunity in their school and or don't take that opportunity to learn a little bit more about what agricultural is in the state of South Dakota. So as you continue looking, it goes into everything of how we're going to advertise, kind of our goals for the next 5 years. Something that might flag or interest you is that we do not have any dollar amounts placed on the financing section. That is because we're waiting to hear back on some quotes. But working with 4-H and FFA and Rachel, we had kind of discussed what that would look like for us, and so we're kind of proposing that the county would pay for a new facility to house the bunnies and the chickens, and Farmers Union would be willing to cover the cost of renovations for that building, as well as all displays inside that building.
So to piggyback off that, we've talked about how the bunny barn is one of those structures out there that's nearing end of life. I think we had a $8,000 or $10,000 insurance claim here a while back for the roof on it. We did not replace the roof on it because it's failing. And so it's one of those that we've kind of been trying to figure out what would be a replacement. And this opportunity that Samantha and Farmers Union brought, it could be a win-win. Not only would they go upgrade this petting zoo building, which I think everybody, it's called the petting zoo, it's also called the poultry barn. It's served as both right there on the west side of the Odeon Expo addition. So what we were looking at, the price tag to the actual county. So what Samantha's offering is $0. She would come in with Farmers Union. We would work together with some grants. We already have partners. This is only the 3rd year we've been doing this Ag Adventure Center in the Odie. Hands have been tied because you can't, bring live animals into that facility. They'd have a real problem with that. So by moving it out, we've got a real unique situation because isn't there only like 2 or 3 in the state?
Yes, there's only 2. There's one located at the Sioux Empire Fair that Pipestone runs, and then there's one located at the State Fairgrounds that South Dakota FFA runs.
So the beauty would be if we could get it done in '24, but since it's fairly new to, the Livestock Committee supported it, Fair Board supported it, and now it's before you. If we can't get it done in '24 and secure the grants, maybe in '25 if we look at budgeting for a building. What I was looking at is trying to find something economical, take the bunny barn down, replace it with a Quonset type, some type. Something like this is a big improvement to the bunny barn already because you have the 5 to 7 foot sidewalls. So you're not, right now the bunny barn starts arching right at the ground, as you might know. This would be like a 45 by 70 foot building for $39,000. We probably wouldn't need cement floor in that because we don't right now in the poultry barn. Or the bunny barn does, but it's really not necessary right now. If we wanted to upgrade it later, we could. But the cement blockings would be about another $4,000. And by the time you add a couple garage doors, probably a 12 by 12 or 10 by 10, one on each end, you're looking at getting that building for probably around $55,000, which I think is very doable given a couple years working with supporters in the area, the foundation, perhaps some from our county budget. And the beauty of it is then Samantha would be free to upgrade the current poultry petting zoo, that barn, to do what we're talking about. And I just can't stress enough how, a lot of those folks out there, they just have no clue where their food comes from. And this is so important.
Would that house then the poultry and the bunny
That's
barn
what we're looking
basically
at, yep.
combine that?
And in the short term, we've talked to the 4-H advisor, and she would be fine with a year or 2 taking the poultry out. If for some reason, if Sammy's able to get that grant money, we could temporarily house the poultry in the east and west facing open class sheep barn. They would put a row right down the middle of that main aisle in there. So there's things that we could do in the interim if we knew we wanted to invest in a new replacement for the bunny barn. I think you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone with the proposal.
So the Ag Learning Center obviously would be used primarily the week of the fair, and the rest of the year, would it be the intent to maybe make it more of a multi-use building for other activities the rest of the year? Or would you continue storage in the winter? Or?
It would probably be storage. It would be nice because it would have then the cement floor in it. So now that we've begun housing the 4th grade Ag Fair in the summer, in April, we hosted that for the first time here in 2023. It might be an option for them, and we'd already have a number of the displays. Samantha said they would house them in here and if we wanted them to, but we were free to house them and use them up here as well as we start this partnership. So I think there could be a lot of options out there.
Sure. No, we heard this pitch last week at the fair board meeting, and it piqued my interest, because I think it's a worthwhile project, it's worth looking into, and could be a real boom for the Brown County Fair, since we'll only be one of 3 in the state at this point. There's talk that maybe the Turner County Fair could eventually get one, but if we get it first, then it's ours.
So one of the nice things too is Samantha has offered to run it. So it's so hard to find volunteers. So we would work closely with Ross or State's Attorney's Office to craft some type of a contract that, I don't know if naming rights would be involved, or I know Lynn's doing a little checking on that. But the beauty of it is we've tried to reach out, and we've done a decent job. Glacial Lake, South Dakota Corn, South Dakota Soybean, the Beef Council, of finding people to man that the week of the fair, but it's hard because all of our fair board are off doing all these other things. So Samantha has offered, in part of doing this, not only upgrading it physically, but being there that week and forming those partnerships with various nonprofit groups, as well as the FFA chapters, 4-H clubs, to help make sure that, I guess that was part of an interesting part to me, is, making sure they know the lingo.
Yeah, so I would do a lot of the educating beforehand we get there as well, just to make sure that when they're having those conversations with consumers, they're saying the right words. Like, we don't say slaughterhouse, we say processing plants. You don't reference the pigs as being cute and then saying in 6 months they're your food. So just kind of helping educate kids on how we speak, and why it's important to speak that way to consumers as a producer.
Train the trainers.
Exactly.
And I trust that there's opportunities and potential for sponsorship or partnerships when it comes to the building of the building too then, or?
The new one, we would have to reach out. I haven't had anything initially, but still kind of preliminary.
All right, anybody have any other questions? I think it's a worthwhile project that's worth looking into and getting some cost estimates and see what we can do.
So if you guys are good with it, I guess the next step would probably be working with Ross on some type of a contract and get it to legal over at Farmers Union, and just what this is going to look like. If you're willing to run it, then maybe this is what we can provide as far as naming rights, or seeing what Lynn finds out with legislative audit, if that's even an option. So yeah, a couple other things we'll just start working on. Just wanted to know preliminarily if you guys are good with it.
Glad to see it.
That's good.
At this point, we just need to acknowledge, or you need a motion to approve pursuing it.
You would need probably a motion to continue.
Okay.
Move.
Okay, motion by Weiss,
Second.
second by Denner. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Pam.
guys.
Thank you, Rachel. Good luck. All right, next up, Chris Heeman, Weed and Pest Supervisor. Approval for the FY 2025 Weed and Pest Grant. Good morning, Chris.
Hey. So yeah, the grant is just the competitive one that we did last year for some Macenas Xanthinus weevils that we put on Doplex. So we dropped a few of those off in, did most of them in Brown County, then run out of spots. We found some state land in Edmonds that we put them on to, just to try to get a collection site established at some point, just to try it out a few years, see if we can get them established, if it's worthwhile or not. So so that's what the application's for, is to get another $2,000. It's a 50-50 cost share, so we have to put in in-kind work. I don't know if we got like 2,000 in-kind this last time, just because you release bugs and that's it. Then you go check it out. So it's kind of hard to justify, driving out there once a week and looking at it and writing down your mileage and your hours. So.
If you charge by the bug, it might...
Exactly. Yeah. Go name them all, feed them all.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Exactly.
There went Johnny.
So that was the big thing, nothing too important. Then if you guys had any questions, or to give you, if you guys wanted an update on the year or anything like that, it went, last year was something. We had more good weather days than we knew. Well, I'd like to say we had more good weather days than we knew what to do with, but no matter how many good days we had, we still had more work to do. I mean, we got more privates and townships sprayed than we've done in a long time. We've got all 3 rounds of right-of-way spraying. We even had Edmonds County, contact us for, one of the townships, Cortland Township over by Mina wanted to be sprayed for their right-of-way. We got them twice. And then the city of Mina had us do some lift stations and their lagoon. And then mosquito spraying, there was a lot of demand for that this year, holy cow.
Yeah.
Spring was terrible, and then,
Wonder why.
and then it kinda dipped down, then fair rolls around, we get that little bit of rain, and they just spiked again,
A little bit
something
of rain.
awful, so, yeah.
I remember 9 o'clock Friday night, it was just like,
Yeah, yep. Yeah, they just exploded all at once, and,
a week later.
yep. So, oh, and then that was that email that you got was for the, Department of Health grant for the, mosquitoes.
Right.
They just need a signed copy of the contract,
Yep.
and then I sent everything else into them, and then they'll
Okay.
get that processed and
I'll
cut.
get that printed off, scanned, and sent back today.
Okay,
I
good.
must have missed it on Friday, so,
Sounds good. Yeah, I didn't even know about it either, so.
Okay. I'll follow up and get that done.
Okay. So, yeah, other than that, now I'm just, waiting for the invoice or the checks to come back for everything we've invoiced. Kinda curious to see how we do this year, you know, how much of the budget we recoup through spraying and mosquito control and all that, so. I think it's gonna be a pretty good year, honestly. It, went really good. I mean, I cannot believe how much work there was to do this year. Normally we kind of hope for a rain or a wind day, you know, just so we can get caught up on paying, on doing bills and sending out invoices and all that good stuff, and, yeah, we couldn't get one to save our life, and so finally, after the fair, I was, all right, let's get caught up. We had a stack of crap about that tall to go through. It was ridiculous, but.
Sounds like you're a farmer.
Yeah, I know.
Now you're just chilling in the state's attorney's office.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions, discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the grant.
Move.
Motion by Jenner, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'll get that
Appreciate everything you do.
sent in.
All right, sounds good. And if, yeah, once that's signed, I'll go run that out to the mail, and it's gotta be in tomorrow. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, moving on to the consent calendar.
Approval of the general meeting minutes of November 7th.
Move. Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Gage. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Claims.
Move.
Second.
Motion by Dennert, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
HR report.
Move.
Motion by Gage, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Claim assignment.
Move.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Brown County racetrack renewal for 2024 season.
Move. Second.
Motion by Dennert, second by Gage. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Travel request.
Move. Second.
Motion by Feldheim, second by Weiss. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Any other business to come before the Brown County Commission this morning? We've had a request by HR to go into exec for personnel, and Carly for legal. Anybody else have anything? If not, entertain a motion.
Move.
Motion by Weiss, second by Dennert, to go into executive session. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are exec.
Would you want to do the other? Hang up?
Still waiting.
All right, lights back on. We're out of exec with no action as a result. Back in session. Is there anything else we need to discuss or deal with today?
What time is it?
Department head meeting at 11, so we have an hour to do whatever else we need to do.
Townships this evening?
Yes, 6 o'clock meal, 6:30 meeting. I will not be able to attend.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion by Weiss.
Second.
Second by Feldheim. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.